Another beautiful day with another beautiful video. So if you are new to the channel, welcome. If you're also old person who normally come to the channel and check it out and you are back, thank you for coming back too. So guys, in this video I'm going to be sharing with you 4 strategies that you can use to always win bet, always. So if you are ready to make money on sport betting, make sure you stay with me from beginning to the end of the video so that you get to know all this strategy that you can use to always make money on sport betting. So without wasting much time, let's get it ready. So but I'm going to be mentioning some terms and I'll be setting some examples out of it. So pardon me to use or allow me to use Flashscore app to do all that. So actually I'm now into Flashscore app. Actually we are not going to use it so much that way. Let me on my data to use it. Sorry. So let me on my data and let's wait for it to load. So you need to be patient and allow it to load. So what I'm trying to say is, like, when you want to bet on a particular game, the first thing that you need to look for, or when you want to bet on football or any other game that involve human beings also, you need to look for the first thing as injury list. Let's use today's game as example. Let's use that game as of today as Europa League. Let's use the Europa League as example. So let's say if you are to bet on this game, the first thing that you need to look for is the lineups. You need to go to their lineups. Move straight to the injury list. You can see missing players. First thing you need to look for that. Are they serious players that are left on the bench, or are they serious players that are missing out? So you look at it all. Okay, we are having Acuna and the missing player. We are having Acuna red card. We have Corona J. We have inactive. Guye P inactive. So you can see all these people are under they are the missing players. They are under injury list, and the other side you can see Zukumbula M knee injury. So all this you can see them all that. You can see the injury list. When you look at the injury list, you look, are they key players that is always playing? Like, are they those who are having impact on the game? That's the first thing that you need to look for. When you see that they are the type, that they are those who is always having impact on the game. Like Acuna, for instance, is a good player who is always on the play. You can click on his profile to check. He's always a good player, but actually he play all time. So you need to look at it, that you need to look for that, and you look for this particular player. You need to go to their profile to see their impact. You can see he's actually injury throughout. So you need to look at all that. When you look at the injury list and you see that, okay, this particular team is having so many injury lists, and the key players are on injury list. So you need to be careful. That means you need to avoid that kind of game. You don't need to bet on it, because if you bet on it, if the game, even like the team is a strong team and they're having so much injury list of key players, the game may end up losing or drawing the game. So it may lead to you losing your bet. So make sure when you are to bet on a game, you need to look for the injury list. First. So the second thing that you need to look for is how important is the game. That's the second thing. The second thing that you need to look for is how important is the game. So first thing that you need to look for, okay, is there something that they are looking like they are just that is closer to them getting a cup, or is it a final game? So that will tell you that, okay, the game is going to be tough game. So that means that there would be no more goal, like a lot of goals will not enter there. So that's the second thing that you need to look for. That's the first thing. You need to know that okay, it is a final, so everybody will be defending, so leading to less goals entering in that game, and all the players will be serious. Everything will play it, or it's serious players. So you need to put that at the back of your mind before you make a decision on placing bet on any particular team. So you need to put that in mind. And okay, it's a final game. This game was a final game of Europa League. So you need to put that in mind, that it's a final. Everybody will be fighting for the cup. So that's the first thing that you need to put in mind. And more to the point, when you now put that in mind, okay, let's move to the third thing that I want to talk about. I wanted to finish with this, but let's move to the third thing. The third thing is just like you need to look for the game that they played. You need to look for the game that they played before that particular game. Look at the game that they played previously. So for doing that, you need to go to their head-to-head. When you go to head-to-head, you see the game that that particular teams play before they play that game. So this thing, when you now move, okay, you can see Sevilla play with Real Madrid at home, but they lose. They lose because it does mean that the Real Madrid was having that upper hand to beat them, but they lose most because of the Europa League. They lose because of this final game that they played 2-1. And when you also look, the same way as like Roma also lose, because they also lose because they were also eyeing this final. That's why they also lose. Look at it. And when you look, how tough was the game? So Sevilla play at home, but they give up and they end up losing. And Roma also play at home. Sorry, not at Roma play away and they lose. They play away and they lose, and Sevilla play home and they lose. That means Sevilla will have advantage to win the game, but because of this particular game that they end up losing, like they didn't play most of their key players that way. So when you check, when you move, you see, you look at the lineup. How did they play? The key players, how did he put them? So you need to move on. Need to move on. You can see all these people were injured. Fernandinho is a key player, but Fernandinho was injured. But look at it. All time he used to play. But he played like that one. They put him on injury list. So when you look at that one will show you that okay, they are putting their key players on that. And when you move on, you can see most of their serious players, you see them to be under substitute. You see them to be substitute. So they'll put, like you can look at you can see this one, Lucas Ocampos. Look at it, play 120 minutes, but that day he was on bench. He didn't even play one game. You need to look at all that. You can see he's a key player, but that day he didn't play. So you need to look at all the game that they play before that game. And the third thing, the fourth thing that I'll talk about is the game that they played, the game that they'll be playing after that game. So you need to look at that. You need to look at that and put that at the back of your mind. You need to look for, okay, what game is next after these people playing this game. So look, you need to click on Sevilla. You need to click on Sevilla to see and go to fix. You go to fix and look at the next game that they will be playing. Look at their next game is they will be playing with Real Sociedad. They will be playing with Real Sociedad. And when you look at that, you go to their standing. Are they still competing for something in the league? So you can see Sevilla is not competing for anything, and you can move on. Sevilla is not competing for anything. Real Sociedad, where is Real Sociedad? Let's see. Real Sociedad, where is the Real Sociedad? Sorry. So you can see Real Sociedad here. Real Sociedad is here. He's competing. He's still on the list of top 4, but Sevilla is not competing for anything. So this will tell you that Sevilla will play all his key players because he knows that he's not competing for any other game again. So Sevilla will try his possible best to play all his key players. And when you go to Roma, let's also you need to also check for Roma own, or you need to also check for the opposite team to see what is the next fix. You look at the fix. Okay, the next game is Roma and that of Spezia. When you click on that, Roma vs Spezia, you click on that. When you click on that, you go to standing. Is Roma competing for anything? Okay, Roma is competing for Conference League. You can see Conference League. Roma is competing for Conference League. And look at this, the game that the team that they are playing with, that team is also battling for relegation. So the team will be serious to play, and this one too, like Sevilla will also be serious to maintain for Europa League, not even Conference, Europa League. Juventus will be playing Conference League, and that means Roma is still having a tough game to play. And Spezia will they will be putting pressure to also win to maintain in the league in order to go to relegation. So you need to look for all that before you bet. So just a quick recap of all what I said. So first thing, you need to look for the injury list. I'm just giving you a recap of that. So first thing, you need to look for injury list. So second thing, you need to look for the game that they play before they are like the game that they are just currently playing. And third one, you need to look for the game that they played, like the game that they are playing, how important it is. You need to look for how important it is. Is it something that they are to take up, like they are to win cup? You need to look for that. And the last one is you need to look for their next game. What is their next game? Is it going to be something that they will be competing for a league table, or just a opposition to maintain, or going for relegation, or playing for Europa or Conference League? You need to look out for that. So that's the key for that I talk about. Looking for injury list, looking for how important is the game. Third one, the game that they play before that game. And the fourth one, the game that they'll be playing after that game. So guys, thank you for watching. If you have watched the video from beginning to the end and you love the video and you want to be seeing strategies of this kind, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And don't also forget to like the video so that it can also reach other viewers out there, those who are also struggling to make money on sport betting. So make sure you also give this video a like to reach them so that they can also benefit from it. So I think that's all for now. And if you want to be seeing this kind of tips, so make sure you subscribe to the channel to be seeing this kind of strategies on the channel. I think that's all for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.